Hi there and welcome to this 2-minute tips video, and today we're going to be looking at an overview of the photo information that you can get during playback. So as I said in other videos, checking photos in the field is really useful, especially when you've got a large LCD like the Z series cameras, and also the EVF, which is really useful. This is part of a series of videos around the topic of looking at your images and playing back, and therefore check out the playlist. I'll put a link above, but let's take a look at the different information screens that you can see when you're playing back an image. So to get to this, if you press the playback button, which on the Z6 and Z7 is to the top left of the LCD, and on the Z50 is to the bottom right, and when you're in full screen mode, if you hit the up or the down arrow on the multi-selector, then it will scroll through various different information screens. So let's take a look at what they show. We'll cover the detail of what the actual information on each screen is in a separate video, so we don't make this one too long, but this one we're just going to give you an overview for the different ones that you scroll through. So the first view we get when we press the playback button usually is the file information view, and this shows you most of your image, but it shows the file name, it shows the type of shooting you're doing. This is showing raw, large and fine, so I'm shooting in raw and JPEG, and it shows the date and time. If we scroll down, we then go to exposure data, so you get the aperture, you get the shutter speed, you get the exposure compensation and the ISO. Going down one more, what this shows you is where the highlights are on the image, and this is really useful, particularly here. I've got a white subject and you can see I'm just blowing out some of the highlights, so really I could bring that exposure compensation down a notch and that'll probably just solve that. We go down one more, and here you'll find the really useful histograms, RGB histograms and white as well. Again, you've got the exposure data along the bottom, and you've got the white balance shown there, as well as a thumbnail of the image. Going down one more, and we get into some more detail, and this shows you all of the detail around the shooting settings, or the main shooting settings, including white balance, color space, the AF mode, and so on, the focal length of the lens. So some really useful information here just to see the settings when you shot the image. We go down another page. If you're using flash, then it will capture the flash settings here. If we go down again, it will capture picture control settings. Here again, it will show what the settings were in the picture control and which picture control you were using. If we go down again, it shows some of the JPEG functionality that we've talked about in other videos here, such as noise reduction, active delighting, HDR, vignette control and retouch, and if you've got any comments set. If you're using a GPS of some kind, in between there it will show you a location data. And then this final, or not the final, the penultimate view is called overview data, and this shows a thumbnail, a useful histogram, and some of the key exposure data. So this is one of the screens that I do use quite a lot in collaboration with the histograms and the highlights views. One more push down on the button and you get to a clean image with no data overlaid on it. And if you scroll down one more, you're back to file information. So how much are you using the information? There's quite a lot in there. Which of the information screens are you finding particularly useful? Do you use on a regular basis? Let us know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit subscribe, hit notification bell below and you'll be notified of future videos like the one on the detailed information on each of these screens, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video.